Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I am live. Let me just see if I can get my sound to work. Hmm. Okay, can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, just type a 1 in the chat. I have to do this from the airport lounge, y'all. My flight was delayed. I'm just so annoyed. Let me just type this in the chat. Drop a 1, guys, if you can hear me. Drop a 1 if you guys can hear me. Also, I'll probably switch these headphones out. Okay, blessings. Like I said, my flight has been delayed, so I am coming live to you guys from an airport lounge, unfortunately. But all is well, you guys can hear me, so we're gonna keep this party going. And I'm just gonna go through the training pretty fast, um, so that you guys can still get the content. But I do have a flight to catch, so let me turn my slides on. Let's get this party started. Let's see, how do I do this? Let's see. Wow. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see the slides. Drop a 1 in the chat, guys. Can you see the slides? Can you guys see the slides? Drop a 1. Hopefully you guys can see these slides. Okay. Well, hopefully you guys can see these slides. We're going to get it started. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to launch a profitable beauty supply store in 2026. And guys, just a legal notice, copyright disclaimer. Everything I'm going to share with you guys tonight is the intellectual property of Janice Fredericks. So please do not record this, guys. You guys are going to get the replay, but don't record it. And definitely do not reshare any of this information I'll be sharing with you guys. It's proprietary information. And so that's my legal spiel for this. All right, so let's get into this because the Black-owned beauty supply takeover is here, and I love to share stories of my clients that we've been working with for the past 10 years on how they were able to open their beauty supply stores. So I'm going to be sharing so many case studies so that you guys can see the representation of how we are reclaiming this industry one store at a time. So tonight's agenda, we're going to be talking about the real state of beauty supply in 2026. What's changing, what smart store owners are doing differently. We're going to be talking about some funding and capital trends and how to position your store to win in this economy. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys how you can work with me and my team at the very end if 2026 is your year to open your beauty supply store. And then we're also going to have hopefully a few seconds of Q&A, which I don't know, but if you guys drop your questions in the chat, I'll be able to see them later because I do have this flight to catch. So before we get started, y'all, I also want to know, drop in the chat the city in which you are wanting to open your store. Drop in the chat the city in which you are opening your beauty supply store, because we have this amazing mission to open 100 beauty supply stores this year. So there are some reasons why you may be on this training tonight. And let me know in the chat if any of these resonate with you, right? Number one, you are tired of your 9 to 5 and you understand that you want to do work that is going to impact lives, right? A lot of us here, that is our story. That was my story. The second thing you realize is that your community is waiting for your beauty supply store to open. And then the third reason is you may be someone on here who wants to create that financial freedom and generational wealth for your children. And so that may be another reason why you're looking to open a beauty supply store. If any of those resonate with you, let me know in the chat. So if you guys are watching this training from me for the first time, welcome. I just want to share a little bit about who I am and why I'm doing this important work. So my name is Janice. I am the founder of the Retail Genius, and this is our program where we have helped Black women secure over 1.5 million in funding to open their beauty supply stores. And then collectively, all of our clients have generated over 15 million in revenue in this industry alone. That's just our people, right? I've also been recognized in so many different publications as a pioneer in this industry because I started back in 2010. I'll be sharing a little bit of my story later, but I've been in Black Enterprise Magazine, In Her Shoes blog, countless blogs, countless beauty magazines. But the real receipts is when the programs have been highlighted by Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, Kivo Daily. Business Insider Roads, the Retail Genius Bootcamp is helping fill the pockets of Black women. Yahoo Finance wrote the program has helped Black women generate 3 million in beauty supply. And so these are the receipts that are really, really important. And it's important to highlight that when we do open stores, we are actually quite successful, okay, in this industry. And so this is a picture of my grand opening, y'all. This was back in 2010. Okay, 2010 when I opened my first beauty supply store. And this was the day I went from a corporate girl to an entrepreneur. And this day is something that I will remember for the rest of my life, just like giving birth, right? When you have that ribbon cutting, it is just like you giving birth to a new baby. Everybody is there. My entire family was there. I had aunts flying to town that was there. My grandmother was there, God rest her soul. And so when you think about opening your beauty supply store, who is the one person you would actually want there? I want you to let me know in the chat. Who is the one person that you would want there at your ribbon cutting? Could be your mother, your father, grandmother, children, spouse. Who are you doing this for? Who are you doing this for? Because it's really important to identify our why. Our why. What is the bigger reason of us doing this, right? Because what I will tell you guys is the surprising thing that I recognized when I opened my store is that the community came out. The community came out and they wanted to see this young Black girl open this store because it has never been done before. And so, like I mentioned, a lot of you will be doing this for the first time. A lot of you will be pioneers. And so it's really, really important for us to also recognize that while our friends and our family, they're watching and they're going to be proud, the community is also watching. And the community has been waiting for this store to open, right? So it's really important to recognize that when you open your first Black-owned beauty supply store in your community, the community is going to come out and they're going to rally behind you, okay? Because it's never been done. So guys, I want you to imagine this by the end of the year, by the end of 2026, you could be celebrating your very own grand opening for your beauty supply store. So let me know in the chat if you can actually see this happening for you. Can you see yourself stepping into ownership in 2026? And what would it mean to be the first Black-owned beauty supply store in your community? Because the opportunity is here. The only question is if you're ready to claim it. Because in our community, especially the Black community, we have a lot of self-limiting beliefs and myths that we continue to tell ourselves, right? A lot of disempowering language, like I don't have enough money, the industry is saturated, I don't know how to get accounts, I don't know if I have time, I don't know how to get funding. Like a lot of these things we have taught ourselves because the people around us and the environment that we're in, a lot of us weren't raised in environments where we are taught to invest in businesses and invest in ourselves. We're often on the consumer end of things. And so one of the shifts that you have to make is having a mindset from spending the money in the beauty supply store to actually owning the beauty supply store. And that is one of the biggest shifts that we have to make in our mind when we are coming into this industry. And we have to leave behind this empowering language and actually use empowering language. Like, I will figure out how to get these accounts. I will be investing in myself. I will find the time to actually get this business started. Okay. And then there's obviously going to be the questions of, how do I do this? Are there really gatekeepers? What is the pathway to get funding? I'm going to share that with you guys tonight. Okay. Because this is the biggest wake up call that we have seen. 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs since this new administration. So this is our moment and our wake up call to ownership, to legacy and control. And I know this very well because I was also, before I opened my beauty spot store, I was laid off from my government job. And so if this is your story, if you have been recently laid off, and I actually had a consultation with someone today who was laid off again of a city job, right? These jobs are not safe for us. And so we have to make sure that we have something that we can actually own. And I will tell you, a lot of our clients do have a job and open a beauty spot store. So it's not impossible, but you must have ownership and entrepreneurship if you really want to control your legacy in your life, because these jobs are not safe, guys. And the other statistic is 80% of Black mothers are the primary sole breadwinners of the household. I too am a single mom of 5 small kids. And so I understand that everything is on me. Everything's on me. And so I have to constantly take risks and place big bets on myself, because I know I have a lot of children who is dependent on me to make things shape, and literally dependent on me to literally change the trajectory of our family. And so every family has that one person who's just going to change everything, who's going to just make a different decision to change the trajectory of the family. And if you are on this call tonight, you're probably the one too. You're probably the one that everyone always goes to for advice or for money and things of that nature, because you're like the natural leader of the family. That is also me, right? And so we have to understand that this is our time for us to make a move. That brings me to my first case study I want to share with you guys tonight. This is Pampered Texture out in North Dakota. This is Vanessa. We had started her store about 3 years ago. She was a hairstylist turned into beauty spot store owner, also single mom of 4 small kids, right? So when we came to her town, open her store, she literally sent this message that she was making $500 a day and on her way to doubling in her second year of business, right? She was a hairstylist, y'all. She was a hairstylist who was like, listen, I want to come from behind the chair and I want to open a beauty spot store. And she actually essentially did both. So she was able to put a hair salon in the back of her beauty spot store. So she's able to rent booths, do hair when she wants to do hair, and then have the income coming in from the retail business. So I'm going to be sharing with you that business model and how it works very, very well in later slides. So now let's talk about what 2025 taught us. Because 2025, y'all, that was a little bit of a bumpy year, right? Again, we started out with this new administration, with tariffs, and that really shook up everything in this industry. But what we did see is that beauty demand stayed strong even with economic uncertainty. Ulta, which is one of our beauty supply giants, reported an increase in its annual sales forecast. And so what this is telling us is that the beauty supply industry does not slow down. What happens is the weaker stores decline and our stronger, smaller community stores actually grow. And so again, guys, this is the opportunity to actually enter the market while it's rebalancing. And this is what brings us in 2026, because 2026 is going to be the year that we actually own this engine that we build. Because here's one thing, Black beauty and texture hair categories are growing from 4 to 6% annually, and Black consumers continue to drive billions in annual beauty spend. Okay, so once again, the demand is not the issue. People are still buying their beauty products, even in economic uncertainty. It's the ownership that is essentially the issue. So this is the year that we stop watching, we start owning, because we understand now that Black women fuel the beauty economy. And so opening a store is not just about business. This is really about us having economic justice. And this economic justice stems from the fact that we are not new to this, we're true to this. We have our ancestors like Annie Malone and Madam C.J. Walker. Okay, we know these names. These are two Black women who were self made millionaires back in the early 1900s, right? The early 1900s. They became millionaires at a time where women couldn't even have bank accounts in their own name. And so when we are fast forwarding a century later, guys, a whole century later, there is no reason why Black women aren't still number one in this industry, because we have proof that we started this industry and we had our ancestors already show us how to get the money. They gave us the blueprint of how to make the millions in beauty. They had products, they had manufacturing, they had universities and schools, all centered in beauty, all centered in hair care. And so now this is our time to pick up the torch where our ancestors left us and get our start. And this is also how I got my start, right? I started during the mortgage crisis back in 2008. If you guys remember the mortgage crisis and the Wall Street crisis, it was a terrible time. Unemployment was way higher than what it was now. And y'all remember going to the gas stations, we couldn't find gas anywhere. It was a crazy time. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna open a beauty spot store. My parents was like, you're crazy. No one has the money. There's no jobs. Here is what I saw. That even though people didn't have jobs, they were still spending the unemployment check at the beauty spot store. Even though they didn't have jobs and maybe they didn't spend their money going to get their hair professionally done or going to get their nails professionally done, they would still go to the beauty spot store, buy the things that they needed, okay, and do it themselves. And so even when times are bad, y'all, people still spend their money at the beauty supply store because, especially with Black women, we will spend our money to look good, whether we have a job or not. That's me. Whether I have money or not, I'm still going to look good. And that's why it's so important to understand the buying behavior of your demographic. Because when the money goes down and the economy is bad, beauty actually goes up. Beauty actually goes up. And here's the market breakdown by this numbers, because I want you guys to understand how much money is actually in this industry. It is $100 billion industry, and $8 billion is driven primarily by Black consumers. And yet 92% is owned by the Asian demographic, 8% owned by African Americans, and the market that we built. Okay, so now let's talk about how we can open our stores. What is working? What are smart store owners doing now? And how we can get this funding. Okay, so now let's talk about how we can open our stores and some of the strategies that we are now using to open our stores more strategically in 2026. So the first thing is, y'all, in 2026, the brands that will perform well will dominate. Okay, so customers are now wanting to walk into a store that has products that really, really work. And so no longer can you have a beauty supply store where it's just like it's copy and paste. I'm just gonna copy what they selling. You have to pay attention to the trends. And so that brings me to gem number one. Gem number one, y'all, and I want you to type this in the chat, is that your store has to have a results-driven product mix. So I want you to type in product mix in the chat. I want you to type in product mix in the chat, because your product mix, y'all, is all of the different categories that you're going to have in your store that's going to make you money. So we have our men category, kids, we have our chemical category, we have electronics, right? All of these different categories make up your product mix in your store. And now inventory is the biggest asset on your balance sheet. And so you must make sure that you have a product mix that is tailored to your community. Okay, because I have seen big stores have all the product but have all the wrong product, and they wind up failing. It is important to be paying attention to the trends and paying attention to what your community wants. Okay, it's not about what you like or what you use. It's about what the community is wanting. because essentially the community is going to be supporting your business. And this is exactly how I was able to, with my store, Fabulous Freddy's, that was only 800 square feet of space. I was able to make five-figure months in my store. I'm talking about 15K, 20K months in my store. And again, the store was very, very small. But because I focused on natural organic products and also on protective hairstyling, I had a very niche product mix. It was very specialized and it was for a certain type of woman. Okay. And so I focused on women who was willing to pay premium prices for their product, right? That's exactly what you want to do with your product mix. The second thing is having private label in your store. Okay. And so private label is about to be the new standard for a lot of beauty supply store owners. And what essentially that means is you are going to identify a product that you can basically call your own. They call it white label, they call it private label. These terms we use interchangeably, but essentially it's like buying bundles wholesale, putting your branding on it, testing the bundles, of course, putting your branding on it and selling it as your hair, as your hair care brand, your hair brand. You can do this with just about anything, right? You can private label just about anything after you do your due diligence, of course. But the thing about private label is you're able to do your own pricing. So historically in retail, we have to use MSRP pricing, right? Which is the manufacturer, they tell you this is what we want you to sell our product at. And in order to stay competitive, you have to stay in line with a specific pricing. But when you have your own label, you have your own product, you can determine what that price looks like. And essentially, you are determining what your margins are going to be. Okay. All of that is in your control. And so you have higher profit margins when you have a private label product. Okay. So strategy number 2, y'all, is you want to launch your signature product. And like I said before, this could be anything, guys. This could be anything. We've had clients do bonnets. We've had clients do edge control. I have done, like I said, I did bundles. I did everything. I did bundles. I did makeup. I did makeup brushes, right? I've even had clients to do like smoothies and juices, right? Sky's the limit when it comes to your beauty spot store. So I want you guys to start to think outside the box. We don't have to copy and paste what the agents have done, what the reps have done. We are creating stores that are going to be stood apart from the competition. This is exactly how you do that. Okay. So gem number 2, I want you guys to drop in the chat is launch your signature product. So this is exactly what we did with My Sheen Texture. They're out in Tampa, Florida. So the owner, Pam, she had a glow bar in the back of her store where she was able to have her customers come in and mix and match different oils and scrubs in her store. And they was able to mix and match different scrubs and literally create their own concoction. Right. So they're walking out with their own special oil formula. And this is how you not only have your own product and your own brand and you can push your own stuff, but then you're also adding this layer of experience that they're not getting at any other store. Okay. Okay, so next gem, guys, is all about you being a hybrid store. So we're in an AI technology, right? AI's taking over a lot of jobs. But what I'm teaching my clients these days is how to implement AI and technology in your stores, right? Because customers are now looking for the opportunity to shop online and pick up in the store. They're looking for different delivery options. They're looking for, constant emails and SMS updates. Because guys, if you are not hybrid, you are essentially leaving money on the table. Okay. So the strategy here is you want to build a dual channel retail machine to where you are literally waking up to sales. Okay. Making sales in your sleep. So this is exactly what we did with Curly Girl Love. This is out in LA. Okay, and the owner is Christina. So she was actually a school teacher who turned into a stay-at-home mom. And she came to us and said, I don't want to go back to the classroom. I actually want to open a beauty supply store. So we helped her open her beauty supply store. And 6 months later, she sent me this text message here. You can see the date is August 6th, 2023. And she says, hey, girls, house. So I said to her, hey, house sales since we're at the half year mark. And she wrote back $96,978,000. Okay. $96,978,000. That is insane. That's insane. And her store is not a big store. Okay. But here's the crazy part is that she says she got 12,000 on DoorDash. 12,000 on DoorDash. Okay. This is what I'm talking about when we are adding new technology and new things into the business. And so I want you guys to start to see your beauty supply store as a parent company that has all of these different revenue streams underneath it. Okay, guys. And so you have your e-commerce, you have your DoorDash, you have, we may have a salon, right? This is what, again, going back to Pampered Texture out in North Dakota, they have a salon. I also had a salon. I had two stylists who by themselves at one point, they was doing 15,000 just off of doing installs, right? Because we had a bundle deal that was $500, and you can get your bundles again, which is the private label product that I was selling, and then you can get the install. You got all of that for $500, and we was doing 15K months off of that bundle deal. And so I want you guys to start to see how this business model works when you have the service-based business and the retail business both working together. Okay, so now let's talk about the funding, because a lot of times we believe that there's no funding available. Money is not the issue, guys. Money is not the problem. It is the positioning that is. So lenders are still giving money, but they're very cautious and they want to make sure that they're giving money to the right people. And so one thing that we fail to recognize is that we don't have business plans. We don't know how to make business plans. And so I want to share with you, the first thing they're going to need is you need a 6-figure business plan. And so you can screenshot this, y'all. 5 P's of building a business plan. Okay? 5 sections. The first section is your place. That's the first P. This is the location of where you want to have your beauty supply store. The second P is your purpose. The purpose is your use of funds. Lenders want to know exactly where this money is going to go. The third P is your product mix, right? We talked about the product mix. Very important for you to show your product mix in your business plan, because it shows the lender you have high margin, fast moving products that you're going to be selling in your store. The fourth P is going to be your marketing. P for promotion. Okay. You need to show these lenders how you plan to market to get customers in your store. And I always say, essentially, you have to show these lenders how you're going to steal people. How you're going to steal people. Because everyone is shopping somewhere for their stuff, whether it's online or in stores at Target, Arabs, they're shopping somewhere. You have to figure out how you're going to steal those people to come shop at your beauty supply store. What is going to be your strategy? And then the last key is your projections. These are your financial projections that shows clear revenue, expenses, and your break-even numbers for the first 3 years of business. Okay? Because there's a lot of things that lenders reject in the business plan, and I've seen it time and time again, guys. And there are things that could improve. So these are just some examples, guys. Having your business plan saying this is how much you love hair and beauty. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear something to the effect of this store serves a high demand, Black and brown consumer base with proven repeat purchases. Right? They don't want to hear that I'll figure out how I'm going to spend the money once I get it. Absolutely not. They want to see a clear use of funds broken down to the inventory, build out, and systems. Okay. So these are all the things that you have to have clearly defined in your business plan, guys.
I'm going to bring Keisha up because she has something exciting to share.
Yes, ma'am. So last week I reported that I went underwriting, and today I actually got approved for my full amount for my loan.
Yay!
Thank you, Janice, actually, for saying, no, 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 call him tomorrow. I got the official email announcement today that I got the full amount that I requested. And yes, so I'm
That's
excited,
so
I'm
exciting.
nervous, and everything all in between. I mean, it took me a year to get here. I'm here now. The money
God
is
is so good.
available.
Well,
Yes,
that's so exciting. Let everyone know what the full amount is.
I got 150K.
Yes. See,
Yes,
it's
yes, yes.
possible, y'all. It's possible.
And in the words of Janice, everything's gonna be moving fast right
Yes, y'all. That is Miss Keisha Woodrup, and like she said, she got 150,000 for her store out in Houston, Texas. Okay, so let's just check in real quick and do a quick recap, guys. Let me know in the chat, was this helpful? Was this helpful? Give me a yes in the chat. Do you see how you can get started in beauty supply? Like, do you feel a little bit more confident? All right, let me know if I did my job. Like, was this worth y'all coming out tonight? Let me know if I did my job. That's all I need to know, right? And then also let me know, do you feel inspired to join this movement of Black entrepreneurs taking over the beauty supply industry one store at a time? Because it's not for everybody, right? I like to say this all the time. It sounds cute, it sounds good, but it's not for everybody. But if you know that this spoke to you and you feel more confident, I want you to type in "I'm ready" in the chat. I want you to say I'm ready. I'm ready for my next move. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Type in "I'm ready" in the chat. Okay. Because y'all, your next move is to join our intensive program. And I'm going to explain exactly what that is. This is our program where we talk about getting started in beauty supply and literally helping you open your beauty supply store. Okay. And so what I want to do is I want to drop in the link to our 5-day challenge in the chat. Okay. And I'm going to stop sharing this real quick because I want to go over to the challenge page so I can show you guys exactly what that looks like. Um, and so, guys, this is going to be our 5-day challenge. Hopefully, you guys can see this. This is our 5-day challenge where for 5 days I am going to be working with you guys March 23rd to the 27th on opening your beauty supply store. And I just want to show you guys real quick the breakdown of each day, and hopefully you guys can see it. So today, what we're going to be talking about building the foundation of your store, right? Understanding that you need to become a retail expert and mastering the retail language. Day 2, we are going to be mastering your brand identity, right? So we talked about creating that brand. You need to create a brand that's going to be set apart from the competition. Day 3, we're going to be talking about building your beauty supply business models, right? Because it's not one size fits all. So I'm going to show you guys different strategies on how you can open your beauty supply store. Day 4 is all about setting your store up. So by the 4th day, y'all will literally be in business setting up your stores the legal way. So I'm going to be showing you guys the license, permits, and all the things that you need to actually set up your store legally in the systems that you need to have in your beauty supply store. So by day 4, literally, you will have all of that done. And then our last day, we're going to be talking about the funding, right? We're going to be wrapping everything up with the funding and how we were able to help our clients get $1.5 million in funding for their beauty supply store. And so we're going to be sharing that with you on the 5th day, as well as building out your business plan in detail. Okay. So, guys, if you have any questions on the challenge, you can drop it in the chat. But the challenge is literally happening March 23rd at the end of the month, so March 23rd to the 27th. And like I said, we are going to be doing a full training for 5 days. There's 2 ticket options on there, guys. There's general and then there's VIP. What's special about the VIP is the VIP option, you have an additional hour where we're going to be having our private coaching sessions where I'll be able to coach you guys one-on-one on your beauty supply store. So if you're really serious about opening your beauty supply store, you definitely want to upgrade to the VIP option. Like for me, guys, whenever I invest in something, I'm always investing at the highest ticket level, whether it's platinum, VIP. Like I always want that additional time with whoever the coach is or whoever the teacher is. I want to be able to get my questions answered. I want to be able to get that feedback on my stuff specifically. So if that is also you, and that's also your mindset, you definitely want to be in the VIP room. So our first training session is going to be at 7 p.m. And then from 8 to 9 p.m., we're going to have our VIP session, separate Zoom link, where I'm going to be coaching you guys one-on-one. We'll be going through the homework. I'll be coaching you guys one-on-one on your beauty supply assets, what to change, what to put in, give you guys feedback, and you'll be in a special, special VIP room. So that is what you're going to get with the VIP. But general, y'all, is also, lit because you need to get these trainings. You have a workbook where you guys are going to be doing work. Homework is what I will say, y'all. You'll be doing homework every single day. But the goal is for you to literally get done in 5 days. What people usually take a year to accomplish. We're gonna bang it out in 5 days. Okay. So I'm gonna drop the link again because I want to make sure y'all have the link. Let me know if you guys have any questions on the challenge and your next steps. Okay. Your next steps, guys, if this is something you want to do, is to get into this challenge so that you can get to work. So we are working on the strategies to get your stores open and get everything in line. I'm going to be giving you guys the blueprint step by step by step. So each day builds on another, right? So we start from the beginning, which is the foundation. We building this house up. So by the end of our challenge, where I talk about the funding and everything that you guys need, everything else will be built. Everything else will be built. So let me know, guys. I'll be on here for like literally 2 more seconds because I got a flight to catch. But let me know, y'all have questions on this. Also, let me know if you join the challenge so I can congratulate you on taking your next step. Because like I said before, in our community, it is very foreign for us to invest in ourselves. We invest in the Beyonce tickets, in the iPhone, in vacations, before we typically invest in a business. And so when you're taking your next step and investing in a business, know that it's a big deal. It's a big deal, especially in our community. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I know there's a slight delay on YouTube, but if you guys have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. You can also DM me, guys, on Instagram. My name is The Retail Genius on Instagram. You can also shoot me a DM over there. But if you guys don't have any questions, you definitely, like I said, guys, you definitely want to sign up for the 5-day challenge if this is something that you're serious about and you want to invest in yourself. I definitely would love to coach you guys in the 5-day challenge so that we can get these beauty supply stores open, because it is absolutely paramount and needed in our communities for our Black-owned beauty supply stores to get open. All right, so I'm going to sign off here, guys, because I don't see anything in the chat. I'm going to sign off here. Hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you guys in the challenge. Have a good night.